I'm 75 years old. People say I won. They say it with certainty. Like it's a fact that can't be argued. Good career, stable life, no scandals, no disasters. From the outside, my story looks clean, admirable, even. And yet, I wake up every morning with a quiet weight in my chest that never earned a name. I felt empty long before I admitted it. Society taught me that emptiness is just the price of success, that fulfillment comes later, that if you're tired, you must be doing something right. That was the trap, and the person I failed first wasn't my wife or my children. It was the younger version of me who thought life would feel fuller than this. My daughter's name is Claire. I see her face the way it was when she was small, standing at the edge of a room waiting to see if I would notice. I noticed. I just didn't stop. I thought being needed somewhere else made me important. I didn't understand it was teaching her how to live without me. For most of my life, I hid behind what I called virtue, responsibility, reliability. I told myself a good man doesn't chase happiness. He earns security. He shows love by providing, not by lingering. I believed being a good father meant making sure nothing went wrong. Being a good husband meant absorbing stress so no one else had to feel it. I thought self-denial was strength. I believed exhaustion was proof of character. And because everyone around me rewarded that behavior, I never questioned it. Promotions came. Respect followed. People said my name with approval. Every missed dinner had a reason. Every canceled plan had an explanation. I told myself this wasn't absence, it was sacrifice. I was doing it for them. That story carried me for decades. There was a moment when I truly believed I had won. I remember it clearly, standing in a quiet house I once thought was impossible to own. Everything in its place, no noise, no mess. I had just reached the position people worked their whole lives to reach. I stood there holding the keys, feeling a sense of relief more than joy. I thought, this is it. I've secured everything. Now I can slow down. Now I can finally be present. What I didn't notice was how unfamiliar the silence felt, how the rooms echoed in a way that didn't feel peaceful. I told myself that feeling would pass. I always did. The wheel never stopped. It just changed names, new goals, new pressures, new reasons to delay living. Mornings blurred into nights. Work followed me home, into weekends, into vacations that weren't really vacations. I lived by calendars and deadlines, always pushing real life into the margins. And every time doubt crept in, I silenced it with the same sentence. Just a little more, one more year. Tomorrow will be easier. Tomorrow became my favorite word. It sounded responsible, safe, adult. I didn't realize tomorrow was a place I hid, while life kept moving without me. The moment everything stopped, it didn't come with drama. No shouting, no breakdown. It came as stillness. I came home early one evening, earlier than usual, not because I chose it, but because there was nothing left that day to need me. The house felt settled, that not empty, finished. In a drawer, looking for something else, I found a photograph, a real one, paper, worn at the edges. Claire, maybe 7 years old, sitting at the table, waiting. On the back, in my wife's handwriting, were simple words that broke through everything I'd built. She waited for you. I sat there holding that photo, and the truth landed without mercy. The finish line I'd been chasing never existed. It kept moving because it was never meant to be reached. And the people I loved weren't waiting at the end. They were living, growing, adapting. I understood then what I had been running from. I hadn't postponed life. I had traded it away, one sensible decision at a time. For most of my life, I hid behind a word that everyone respected: responsibility. It sounded solid, mature, unquestionable. I told myself that being a good man meant being dependable no matter the cost, that being a good father meant making sure nothing ever fell apart. Bills paid, roof secure, future handled. I believed love was something you proved by enduring pressure in silence. I thought if I carried enough weight alone, the people I loved would feel safe. I truly believed self-sacrifice was the highest form of care. And because the world applauds that version of a man, no one ever challenged me. They praised me. They trusted me. They rewarded me. I mistook approval for truth. I built my life on a simple idea. If I worked harder now, I could relax later. If I delayed happiness, it would arrive stronger and permanent. If I stayed disciplined, fulfillment would eventually show up as a reward. I told myself children don't need time, they need security. That presence could be replaced with provision. That listening could wait. That love was patient. I never asked myself how patient. Every time doubt crept in, I pushed it away with logic. This is what grown men do. This is what responsibility looks like. One day they'll understand. One day they'll thank me. There was a moment when I was convinced I had won. I remember it clearly. I was standing in a house I once believed was out of reach. Clean, quiet, perfectly ordered. Everything where it belonged. I had just reached a position people whispered about with respect. A title that made conversations pause for a second longer. I stood there holding the keys, feeling relief instead of joy. Relief that I had proven something. Relief that I could finally stop running. I told myself, this is it. I've secured the future. Now I can slow down. Now I can be present. What I didn't understand was that I had arrived too late. The house was full, but something essential was missing. And I didn't yet have the language to name it. The routine took over quietly. Wake up early, work through meals, come home tired, fall asleep thinking. Exhaustion meant I was doing the right thing. Days blurred into years. Work followed me everywhere. Into weekends, into vacations that were never really vacations. I lived by calendars and deadlines, always pushing real life to the edges. And every time someone needed more of me, I answered with the same promise. Just a little more. Just one more year. Then things will slow down. Then I'll be there. Tomorrow became my favorite word. It sounded responsible, safe, adult. It gave me permission to ignore today without feeling guilty. I believed tomorrow was guaranteed, that health would hold, that relationships were elastic, that love could be paused and resumed without damage. I thought balance was something you earned after suffering long enough. I didn't realize life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It keeps moving, quietly, while you're busy being responsible. And the most convincing lie I ever told myself was that I was building something for my family when in truth, I was teaching them how to live without my attention. That's the danger of a noble lie. It doesn't look like failure. It looks like virtue. It earns respect. It earns applause. And it slowly empties your life while telling you you're doing everything right. The moment everything stopped didn't feel dramatic. There was no argument, no breakdown, no moment you'd recognize as important while it was happening. It was just silence. Thick, settled silence. I came home one afternoon earlier than usual, not because I chose to, but because there was nothing left that day that required me. No calls, no urgency. The house didn't react to my arrival. No footsteps, no voices, no reason to announce myself. I stood there longer than I should have, keys still in my hand, realizing nobody cared where I put them anymore. That's when the clock stopped. not the one on the wall, the one inside me. I walked into the living room and noticed how orderly everything was. Too orderly, like a place that had already adapted to being quiet. On the shelf, half hidden behind books no one reads anymore, was an old photo album. I don't know why I picked it up. Maybe I was looking for proof that the noise I remembered had been real. I sat down and opened it. The pages stuck together slightly, the way old things do when they haven't been touched in years. And there it was, a photograph, a real one. Paper. Soft at the edges, faded colors. Claire, maybe 7, sitting at the kitchen table, her hands folded, eyes turned toward the doorway, waiting, not smiling, just waiting. On the back of the photo, in my wife's handwriting, were a few quiet words. She waited for you. No anger, no accusation, just fact. I sat there holding that photograph, and for a moment I couldn't breathe. That small square of paper carried more weight than every promotion, every paycheck, every title I ever earned. That was the instant the lie collapsed, not slowly, completely. I understood, with a clarity that felt almost cruel, that the finish line I had been chasing my entire life never existed. Every time I thought I was close, it moved, because it was designed to move, and the people I loved were never meant to stand still while I chased it. They lived, they grew, they adapted, they learned how to fill the space I kept leaving behind. I saw it all at once, all the just one more year promises, all the reasonable explanations, all the confidence that tomorrow would always be there. Tomorrow isn't a place you arrive, it's a place you hide. And while I was hiding there, life was happening somewhere else. People don't wait forever. Love doesn't pause. It either grows with attention or it fades into something polite and distant. Sitting there with that photograph in my hands, I finally understood what had really happened. I hadn't postponed life. I had traded it away, quietly, carefully. One sensible decision at a time. You can rebuild money. I've watched people lose everything and climb back up. I've done it myself in smaller ways, starting over, proving I still had value. You can rebuild status too, at least on paper. You can polish your reputation, collect titles, make your life look impressive again. You can even rebuild order. You can clean the house, organize the drawers, make everything neat enough to feel like control. But you cannot rebuild the moments you didn't live. You cannot buy back a child's waiting. You cannot rewind to an ordinary evening when your daughter wanted to tell you something small and you chose the easier answer. Not now. Time is the only resource that never returns. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care how noble your intentions were. It just moves forward and leaves you with whatever relationships you actually fed while it was passing. Claire is an adult now, and she's kind to me. That's the word that hurts the most. Kind, polite. She calls on birthdays and holidays. Sometimes she answers when I call. We talk about safe topics, health, work, the weather, the price of groceries. She tells me what she's willing to tell a neighbor, not what she would tell a father she truly leaned on. I don't know her fears. I don't know the private things that make her feel small. I don't know the quiet parts of her life, the parts she protects. And that isn't because she's cold. It's because I trained her, slowly, to carry her life without me. I lost the right to her secrets, one missed moment at a time. There was no explosion, no final argument, just distance arriving, like dust settling so gradually. You only notice when you finally wipe the surface. The people I worked with forgot me even faster. When I stepped away, there were handshakes, speeches, compliments that sounded permanent. Then the calls stopped. The emails dried up. 2 weeks later, my name wasn't needed in meetings. A month later, the machine ran perfectly without me. That's not cruelty. That's reality. Institutions do not love you back. They use you while you're useful and replace you when you're done. I gave my best years to something that could never hold my hand in a quiet room. And there's another loss people don't talk about. When you lose the person who knew your younger self, you lose your witness. My wife used to remember me before I became this careful, responsible version of a man. She remembered the boy in me, the laugh I had before I learned to swallow it, the dreams I had before. I traded them for stability. When closeness faded, it wasn't just love that thinned. My past did too. Without a witness, your own story becomes blurry. You start forgetting what you felt like when you were alive inside your own life. That's what it means to become a ghost. You're present, but not essential. Included, but not central. Respected, but not needed. And you realize too late that the real tragedy wasn't working hard. The tragedy was believing you could delay your life and still keep the people in it. Listen to me now, not as a narrator, not as a voice in a video, as a man who reached the end and finally stopped lying to himself. I know you're tired. I know you're reading this or listening to this after a long day, telling yourself you've earned the right to disconnect. I know you think you need this next raise, this next win, this next stretch of discipline, so your family can finally feel secure. I know you believe you'll call your parents on the weekend, that you'll spend real time with your kids when work slows down, that you'll be present when things calm down. I believed all of that too. Those excuses sound responsible. They sound mature. They feel safe. And they are the most dangerous lies you will ever tell yourself. Here's the part that follows me into the night. There is no moment when life announces that you've reached the point of no return. No warning, no final bell. One day, you're busy. The next day, you're distracted. And one day after that, you're distant. And by the time you realize it, the people you love have learned how to live without you. Not out of anger, out of survival. So listen carefully. Close the laptop, not later, not after one more message. Close it now. If you're at work, go home. If you're already home, put the phone down and sit with the person next to you without trying to be useful or impressive. Make the call you keep postponing. Not tomorrow. Today. Say the awkward thing. Ask the question you've been avoiding. Show up even if you're exhausted and quiet and have nothing interesting to say. Presence isn't about performance. It's about being there while it still counts. I'm not telling you to abandon responsibility. I'm telling you to stop sacrificing what cannot be replaced for things that can. Your job will survive without your extra hours. Your family will not survive without your attention. The world will move on without you faster than you think. The people who love you won't, at least not right away. And once they learn how to live without you, that lesson is hard to unlearn. If you're still listening, I'm going to ask you for something. Not for numbers, not for trends. Subscribe, because I don't have many years left, and this is everything I learned too late. Leave a comment and write the name of the person you will reach out to today. Give me your word, and if this touched something in you, share it. Not for me, for the person who is right now making the same mistake I made 40 years ago. Don't wait 50 years to understand this, because unlike me, you still have time.